Today I am joined by Laura Pedone from Monte Carlo Inns. First off, Laura, how are you doing today?
I am doing very well. I'm enjoying the sunshine and the warm weather, as I know the rest of the week is not going to be so good. So I chose today to come into work a little bit earlier. I was excited to speak with you, Camilla. And yeah, every day is something new. We don't know what to expect with all the changes going on. So we're just, trying to combat this day by day.
No, that's the only thing you can do right now. I mean, everything is so unexpected. This is such an unprecedented situation. And I'm curious, when you first started hearing about the virus, how did that slowly start to impact, of course, what was going on at the hotel?
Very good question. It impacted us almost immediately because we have 8 properties within the GTA and we're all connected with the airport. And of course, airlines started shutting down, borders started shutting down, and this ultimately affects our business. So we, from having each of our properties 3,000 reservations on the books, that slowly started changing to having hundreds canceled daily. Meeting rooms canceled as well. Our restaurants started having to close down. So we've really been affected because our industry is the service industry. So service, I believe, that person-to-person touch, that has been affected ultimately the most. And we've had to really just day by day speak with our frontline staff and let them know what the next step is. It's been challenging.
And for the customers that are still able to, of course, make it out and be guests at Monte Carlo Inns, how has social distancing kind of changed the way the operations are happening?
Yes, so we do still have some customers. We're a local brand, so we're probably one of the luckier ones because we don't depend solely on the outside border market. We do have a lot of local businesses still using us and some local guests. It has changed though because we've had to put barriers, 6-foot barriers from the front desk, plexiglass at each computer terminal. They have to go directly to their room, limited services. We ask, there's about 5 questions that are asked to every guest before they check in. That's not normally how we do business. When a guest walks into our door, we welcome them and we embrace them and we're excited to check them in. This has been unprecedented that we actually have to ask them 5 questions and look at their passport to make sure that they haven't traveled from a spot that has been affected more by this coronavirus before we can allow them into our room. So can you imagine how awful that is for our industry? So it's been something that I never want to go through again, put it that way.
Of course, I think everyone was not expecting this and can't wait for this to pass. And I think there will be a time where tourists come back and travel will be more important than ever. How do you think what you've learned from this experience will transfer over to the way that guests are welcomed once everything goes back to normal?
Well, for one, I think our industry, the hospitality industry, hotels, is a very resilient industry. Some of the hardest working people out there. And I feel that when things do get back to some sort of normalcy, people, as much as they are liking their webinars and their Zoom meetings and their FaceTime meetings, there's something to be said about people coming together and meeting again and doing business again and traveling again. I am sure that things will never quite be 100% normal, and people will have in the back of their minds to be a little bit more safe and practice a bit more distancing. But when it comes down to it, people have their bucket lists. People do want to travel. People do need to do business. And I think slowly but surely, not right away, but I think that within the provincial borders, it's going to start. And then it'll start maybe within the US, Canada. And then eventually, months down the road, maybe 6 months, it may begin with Europe traveling. It's going to be a slow start. I think something like this, it was like our World War III. It was our biological war. And I think it's set us back quite a bit. But I also think that we're going to come back from this stronger, more wiser, and more appreciative of the things that we did have.
And we are all, of course, so grateful for the lessons that we've learned through this, and of course for all the frontline workers, the essential workers, even the hotel staff that are there day in and day out helping people out. Have there been any initiatives or any programs that you're doing as a business to help out, the Canadians that really need it right now?
Yes, we actually have a program that we have started on a weekly basis. We're sending to some of the food banks and some of the healthcare workers. We've sent about 3,000 bottles of water, just of our Monte Carlo bottled water, as well as bars of soap and shampoo bottles, some of the healthcare workers, some of the food banks. As well, we have been approached by some, different frontline workers like firefighters, some police departments, that in case they should need some rooms for whether it be social distancing, quarantining, we would be able to help them.
We've heard of ways that, people in Canada can support, for example, their local restaurant by getting takeout. How do you think Canadians can support the hotel industry and the hospitality industry as a whole during this period?
Well, we've started a program that it's an office away from the office. So we charge half the rate during the day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in case sometimes people, because they can't go into work and some of the offices are closed downtown, they can come into the hotel and for, like I said, half of what a rate would normally be, they get the room, they get complimentary Wi-Fi, coffee, water, and they can have an office away from the office. So this is just something that we've thought outside the box, I guess.
And Laura, before we let you go, is there a message or something you would like to share to all of the TLN viewers that are watching you back home?
Well, I would like to say that I have a whole new appreciation for radios and TVs and everything you guys are doing to make us feel normal, make it feel like we're not in this alone. Thank you for sharing the information across the globe. It's really important to stay connected, and you guys are doing an amazing job. And I just want to say that we will get to some sort of normal, hopefully very soon. And when we do get back to it, I think that people are going to be, as I said before, really appreciate the simple things in life. I think that's the message.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Laura, for joining us today.
Thank you, Camilla. It's been a pleasure.